We saw earlier how to get products into the Amazon system, and we've seen what happens when they actually sell and have to be shipped, or ship automatically if you're using FBA. But what about in between? What about managing your inventory while it's in the Amazon system before it sells? That's what we're going to look at in this video. In Seller Central, open up the Inventory menu. You'll see two Manage Inventory options at the top of the menu, which allow you to manage all your inventory, both seller-shipped and FBA inventory, in various ways, and an area in which you can carry out FBA-specific tasks on your inventory. Even if you don't ship for yourself, you still need to see the first of these. We're going to look at Manage Inventory in this video and Manage FBA Inventory in the next. The products that are shown here depend on these controls at the top. If you're looking for a specific product, you can search for it here. You can also use the filters to view the type of items you want to see. Click the Filters button to open this area, then use the Status drop-down to select whether you want to see all your inventory items, just the active items, or just inactive items. If you've recently searched for a product, you may need to remove that from the search box. Click Search to reload. You can also use the Fulfilled By drop-down to select all, Amazon, or Seller. There are actually other filters in the form of these links at the top. If I click the Quality Issues link, I'll see the items that have listing issues. Note that as we're recording this video, Amazon's in the process of upgrading the inventory area to a new system, but at present the Quality Issues link takes us into the old system, as do some of the other links we'll look at. So the Quality Issues link takes us to an area in which we can see products that are not necessarily deactivated by Amazon, but that Amazon believes can be improved by adding or changing information in the listing. You can choose to see all the quality alerts, or problems with images, problems with the product descriptions and bullets, or details related to movies and TV. To get back to the main inventory page, use the browser's back button or select Inventory, Manage Inventory again. The Stranded Inventory link also currently takes us into the old area and shows items that are in the Amazon warehouse but for which there are no listings. They're sitting there in the FBA system but are not being sold, perhaps due to system bugs. If you run into this problem, search the help system for information on how to fix it. You may also have to contact customer service. The Price Alerts link takes us to an area in which Amazon shows products that it believes have pricing problems. It's calling these to my attention so I can fix them. Amazon has actually deactivated these listings while I review them, so that it doesn't have what it believes are probably bad listings in the search results. As you can see, the prices on these products are unusually high. The Inventory Amazon Fulfills link takes us to the same page that selecting Manage FBA Inventory on the Inventory menu takes us to, which we'll be looking at in the next video. And the Shipping Queue link just duplicates the Manage FBA Shipments link on the Inventory menu, which we'll see in a later video. So, what information are we shown about the items in inventory? Let's start on the left. We have a checkbox so that we can select items and carry out actions on all of them at once using the Actions button. We'll come back to that. The status column might say active, meaning the item's listed for sale, or inactive, meaning the product is listed but not being sold. If inactive, you may see another message such as out of stock or pricing error, or closed, meaning that you close the listing using the Actions menu. Other statuses you may see are reserved, meaning the item's been sold but not yet shipped, or incomplete, meaning that the listing is missing important information. We saw the SKU in an earlier video, so I won't go into detail. This is your unique identifier for this product. Then there's the Listing ID column. Each listing has its own ID number, but this typically isn't very useful to merchants. Every product has an A sign, as we've seen. Each product also has a merchant SKU. But if you have, say, 5 of the same item, each individual item also has a listing ID. I'm going to show you how to remove this listing ID from the table in a moment. Clicking the listing ID opens a browser tab and displays the merchant listings for that product. The next column shows the product's name along with the unique Amazon identifier, its ASIN or ISBN number, which, as we saw in an earlier video, are really the same thing. If a product has an ISBN, Amazon uses that as the product's ASIN. Clicking the product title opens the product page in the Amazon catalog in a new browser tab. The condition column is obviously the chosen product condition, and the available column shows how many of an item you have in stock. For FBA items, you can click to see more information about the inventory, and for merchant fulfilled items, you can change the value. If you've just sold an item in another channel, your brick and mortar store, for example, or perhaps have just got more product in stock, you can enter a new number in here and then click the Save button. Change it to 0, and Amazon will also change the status to inactive, out of stock. It can take 15 minutes or so for the change to take effect. The fee preview column shows you how much in fees you'll pay Amazon if you sell the product. Click the link to open a box that shows you the fee makeup. In the next column, you can see the price you currently have the product listed at, along with the shipping price. You can even change the product price directly in this box. Click the Save button to save your changes. Next, the Fulfilled By column is pretty self-explanatory. It'll show seller or Amazon, depending on whether you are shipping the product or FBA is. A quick note about these columns. Some are not very helpful, and there are some useful columns missing. We'll look at this in more detail in a later video, but you can very quickly change the columns you see. Click the Preferences button, then, for example, clear the Listing ID checkbox. I don't think that's terribly useful in that table. Click on Lowest Price, Buy Box Price, and Buy Box Eligible. Then save your changes. Now you'll see that Listing ID has gone, but we have 3 pretty useful new columns. We can see the current lowest price, the price of the product currently in the buy box, and whether or not this product is eligible for the buy box. The check mark in the lowest price column means that your product has the lowest price. By the way, Amazon can determine the lowest price in various ways. You can specify how you want Amazon to choose the lowest price. See the video on setting inventory preferences for more information. The Edit button allows you to carry out various actions on the products. Click on the word Edit and you'll go into the product summary page where you can edit various things. But click the little up-down triangle on the right to see this menu. What you see in here varies with the particular item, depending on the product's status and who is shipping the product. Let's start looking at an active listing and the kinds of actions we can carry out. Our first choice is Edit, which also takes us into the product summary page. Then there's Manage Images, which takes us to the Images tab of the product summary page. Note that these images are the main product images, not the listing photos that are uploaded on the offer page that we saw earlier, the ones shown next to the actual listing. Rather, these are the primary product pictures shown on the main product page. As we discussed earlier, when you create a listing, you can only enter information into the Offer tab. But once you have a listing, you can often, but not always, add more information to the product page. Note also that it can take a while for the images to appear, so don't expect to be able to see them immediately after uploading. You can also use this area to remove images from listings. The Clone option takes you into the page where you can list a new item, that is, an item that currently does not have a product page on Amazon. You'll notice that we're on the Vital Info page where all the basic product information is added: title, manufacturer, brand, and so on. We saw this in an earlier video. Despite the fact that we are in theory copying from the original product information to this new one, you actually won't see much information copied over. It's almost like beginning from scratch. If you simply want to create another listing for the same product, you'll select Add Another Condition. You don't need to do this if you have another exact same item of the same condition. Let's say you're selling one used camera, but you find another exact same camera to sell, and it has the same condition. You'll use Edit Details to simply change the quantity you have to sell. But if the extra camera you now have available is the same except it's a different condition, you'll select Add Another Condition, which lets you create a new offer, a new listing for the same product. Next, we can change the shipping method for a listing. In this case, we can select Change to Fulfilled by Amazon to make this product an FBA product. This will actually deactivate the listing because the product needs to be sent to the Amazon warehouse before the listing can be displayed, or it won't be available to ship, of course. Don't worry about the Mark for Removal checkbox at the bottom right. This is only needed if you selected multiple items to convert and changed your mind about one of them. You can remove that item from the list. Match Low Price is a feature we've seen before. Select this to take the low price, which we can now see in the columns after adding that column, and put the value into our price field. Click the Save button after doing so. The Close Listing option will set this item to inactive and automatically change the available number to 0. You might use this if you're out of stock. Your item will no longer appear for sale on Amazon until you change the status. You may not see changes immediately when you use these types of actions, by the way. It may take a few minutes for the information to update in the inventory tables. You can also delete listings from your inventory entirely. Perhaps it's a product that's been sold and you don't expect to have it again, or a product that was improperly listed. I am now going to change the filters. Let's see what options we have for inactive products. Some options are the same, of course, and we see different options for merchant fulfilled and FBA products. This one is an FBA item. There are several more options. We now have Send/Replenish Inventory. This is for when you're sending product to the FBA warehouse, a subject we'll see in a later video. There's also Set Replenishment Alerts. Use this to have Amazon warn you when you're running low on FBA inventory. Print Item Labels allows you to print barcoded labels when you're preparing to ship product to the Amazon warehouses. Again, a subject for another video. That's the essence of the Manage Inventory page. You've seen how to change information about your listings, close and delete listings, edit images, and so on. There's one more point I want to make. When we saw in an earlier video how to create product listings, we saw that only the Offer tab is available at that point. But once you have a listing, you'll usually find that you can modify other forms of information under the Vital Info, Images, Description, Keywords, and More Details tabs. Thus, multiple merchants can often be contributing information to the same product page. Amazon has a complex system for determining who can modify pages and how. This is a feature that can be very useful, but often extremely frustrating when other merchants start adding garbage information to product pages that perhaps you created. At the extreme, the feature allows unscrupulous merchants to actually hijack product pages, to modify a product page to the degree that it actually describes a different product from the original listing. If this happens to some of the products you list against, you can complain to Amazon and they might take action.